Hi, folks. This is Farid Premani with Ignite the Spark again this morning, and we have today our mentor of the day, which is a very brilliant man in the space of something called big data. So, just to convey you something about what big data is, we here at Ignite the Spark try to bring in new careers and especially high demand careers for people and mentors who are usually achievers, entrepreneurs, or establish something big in their lives. And we hear the secret sauce. So big data is something, every company in this recession economy is trying to move towards data prediction in order to take the evaluation that, okay, if they are trying to take a business decision, is it the right business decision that they should? So they rely on somebody which is called big data scientist who predicts statistical models and helps organization to take big level decisions. So I'm trying to add Durga with us, and Durga is running. Hey Durga, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good, good. Thank you very much. So Durga is running a IT Veracity. It's also a big community where he's trying to teach in big data scientists, and we'll try to learn from him today in this short 15-minute mentorship call about who Durga is, how he started his success journey, and how he thinks big data scientist this field will evolve and something from his mentorship lessons. So Durga, over to you, man. How's everything going? How are you doing? How's everything?
Yeah, everything is good. It's fantastic, and I'm privileged to be part of this live session.
Thank you. Yes, Durga, over to you. Do you want to walk us about something about yourself, who you are, what you do? I've given you a good introduction, but I think you are the better person to justify, you know, that part. So over to you, Durga.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Durga, as Farid have introduced me, and I have been running a platform called IT Varsity. It started as a YouTube channel 2 years back, and over last 2 years, I got 25,000 plus subscribers on YouTube, and also around 17,000 followers on LinkedIn, and the community is growing at a rapid pace. And leveraging that, I want to build a full-blown IT firm. So I just started office in Dallas, in US, and also in Hyderabad. And I'm planning to get into engineering, infrastructure, and managed services, and also training and staffing. So leveraging, I strongly believe all these feed into each other, and I want to build a IT firm covering all the four aspects of it.
Okay, so Durga, walk us through big data because although you are trying to take this to entrepreneur level, but when we see you as a big data scientist, you are like a mentor to many, like you said, 17 and 25,000 people follow. So you have like a 45,000 follower base,
Yeah.
especially when big data, we even don't find good trainers, in this field and people, you're sitting in India, you're trying to cover worldwide. And I saw people from Germany, Sweden, all that places follows you in this big animal which is getting popular. So Durga, walk us through what is big data. A lot of people who are in our followers, and I'm also getting tweets and all, they have questions like, they want to get into big data. And the good thing is this global world, now there are no walls to it. If you are a scientist, if you are a researcher, you can make good money sitting anywhere in world. You just need to be in the right technology, right thing at the right place. So what is big data? How do you think one can enter it, and what do you think is the scope of it? Just walk us through that as a journey today.
Sure. So big data started with Google. Google is the first one who actually get into this big data, where they actually need to process petabytes of data on regular basis to get the search results as accurate as possible. So they have to load enormous amounts of data. They have to process, and then they have to get the search results, correct results for us. It started with Google, and once Google is successful in creating the search engine, which is working very effectively, they published a few white papers. And because of the success of social networking, mobile, and many search engines, etc., now almost every enterprise feel that they can tap into the data they have, and they can process that and get insights in the data, and then make sound decisions out of their business. That being said, from the enterprise perspective, to begin with, most of the decision support systems are being either complemented with big data or replaced with big data. So,
Okay.
and that is one aspect of it. Even though big data is popular because of search engines, data science, etc., a lot of companies actually replacing their reports for enterprise management, etc., using big data ecosystem. That is one aspect, and the second aspect is data science, machine learning, deep learning, etc. Quite often you have to process huge amounts of data which are structured, unstructured, and big data ecosystem. Big data is not a technology; it's just a buzzword to represent enormous amounts of data with different varieties of data, not necessarily just text. It can be images, videos, etc. So that's
So for
where
people Durga, who don't have any prior programming background, and it's a become an animal now, which is like very big, because let's see in US, average IT technologist does a job from 60 to 80, $90,000. Especially there is a lot of recession juggling, because I also run a school here, continuing education. But when it comes to big data, it's like a fast air crash plane. It's you start your journey from 100,000 and it goes up to 150, 200K. So it has interest, and activated motivation in a lot of people who wants to get into, but they don't have any prior programming experience, as you were sharing that, there is no
yeah.
such thing. So what kind of skill set is required for someone to start their career in this big data thing?
Yeah, sure. Programming is the foundation. So if you have to excel in big data, you need to have
Mm-hmm.
programming skills for sure. Without programming, you cannot excel. It not only with respect to
Okay.
big data, even other areas. Even if you have to succeed as a tester these days, you have to know some basic level of programming at the least. Even if you want to become systems administrator, you should
Mm-hmm.
know either Python scripting or Ruby scripting or shell scripting, which is nothing but programming. So programming is
Okay.
becoming more imperative, and especially when it comes to big data, you don't need to learn all the frameworks, but you need to understand programming languages such as Python, Scala. You don't need to get into object-oriented concepts, but um, uh, you should know basics of programming. Programming is imperative, and on top of that, you should know data modeling, SQL, having a bit of Linux exposure is the foundation for big data. And on top of it, you have to
So
go to
I
the next level by learning Spark and all.
Okay, excellent. So I will talk about two streams, Durga. One who are non-IT programmers, let's say people who have been laid off or who just moved to US or any other countries like Canada, Australia on skill fast track, and they want to get into something being a non-IT. How much average time? I know there are like pros and cons, mean, median modes, but what is an average time duration that someone requires to get themselves hands-on? And what would be the time zone for someone who is a graduate in IT, let's say people or students, youth who have been into these knowledges of Python, SQL? How much time would it take them? So for both the streams, if you can tell, so people can agree and realize, what is the career entry point? How much do they need to work? Because it's a difficult animal, but there is no gain, no pain concept, right?
Yeah. So when it comes to people who have some programming background, it could be a degree in IT or computer science, or a past experience in IT. As long as they're a bit comfortable with programming, um, they can actually get their head around big data within 160 hours, 120 to 160 hours range. Anyone can actually get the foundation laid. And then after that,
So which is
as you
yeah,
search for the,
complete that, how many months you complete that 120, 160 hours? 6 months, 3 months usually? What is your experience? What have you seen people transitioning into?
so for people who have prior experience, it take anywhere between 3 months to 1 year to get the transition, because they have to
3 years.
do their full-time job, and they cannot spend
Okay.
160 hours at a stretch. And learning is one
Okay.
thing, and after learning, searching the job market, facing the interview, cracking the
Mm-hmm.
interview is another thing. So it take anywhere between 3 months to 1 year. And to
Okay.
answer other part of your question regarding non-IT,
Mm-hmm.
it will take a minimum 6 months because they need to learn programming, they need to understand databases, they need to understand a bit of Linux, and then only they can make sense out of big data. So anywhere it will take minimum of 6 months, and based upon their learning capabilities and all, it might extend further.
So 3 to 6 months to conclude for IT programmers or IT specialists, and 6 months to 1 year around for someone who's a novice user or an infant in this field. Durga, walk us through what is the scope of it. Do you think it's a bubble that is right now in air and people are getting into it? Everyone wants to do big data, but there are not enough trainers, material, and people like you who came in, who are like industry leaders. Or do you think will it be just for short period of time and then it would transition out?
Big data is here to stay. If you follow the industry, um, uh, open source revolution have started close to 2000, and
Okay.
most of the web applications are built using open source technologies like Java, Python, etc. But when it comes to data warehousing, reporting, etc., most of them are licensed products like Teradata, Informatica, Business Objects, Cognos. They are all licensed products. Especially in those decision support systems, the expensive ones are Teradata's, Informatica's, data stages. These are expensive tools, and big data is a open source alternative for them. So if anyone will be impacted, the licensed products will get impacted. And as big data is open source, it is here to stay, in my opinion.
And so excellent, excellent. Now, Durga, walk us through your journey, success journey. You've started from also very small and you have grown to a level. So we usually do like entrepreneur of the day talk and we learn from people get just to get inspiration for others. But since you are also a mentor, I wanted to also get this big data thing out. So walk us about yourself, how what inspired you in life to be at such a level, what is the philosophy for your success?
As I have mentioned to you earlier, I started with a very normal background. My father was a lorry driver in India, and at his peak in his career, he was making around 150 to $200 per month. And I myself
Mm-hmm.
was a high school dropout, and I worked in a medical shop for less than $10 per month for 8 months. And then I went back to the school and I completed PG, Masters in Computer Applications, with the support of my family, of course. And then I started my career in IT around 2003 2004, and because of my high school dropout and all in India, it took time for me to get my first job. It took almost a year, and that 1 year I have been working on the skills to crack the interviews. And it took almost 45 interviews, and for to crack the interviews, I my fundamentals have become very strong because I have prepared quite a bit, and that is the foundation for my career from there. And once I start my job, within 9 years of experience, I became a senior manager with Cognizant as a big data technology consultant. My title was senior manager, but my role was technology consultant in big data. I was leading the big data practice in Cognizant at the time, and then I transferred myself to IBM as an enterprise architect, and I have to move back to India. I decided to move back to India. I moved back to India, and I started working on my own company
What
when I
what
realized that. Yeah, go ahead.
what made you move back to India?
There are several reasons because my parents are uneducated. I don't want them to have a crippled life in US. Rather, I want to come back to US and take care of them whenever they need me. That's the primary motivation. And also, I got inspired by Narendra Modi, and Narendra Modi um, also one of the reason why I moved back to India. First reason was my parents, and second reason was was Narendra Modi. So these two are the reasons why I moved back to India.
From your voice and as I know you slightly personally as well, you are a give back person. You wanted to give back to community as well. Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry to break you in the middle. Go ahead, Durga.
Yeah, so once I moved back to India, I realized that there is a significant gap between the industry and the talent pool, and the transition is difficult. Even though it's open source technologies, it's quite expensive, and each of these vendors talk their perspective rather than actually sharing the knowledge the way it should be used as part of the projects. So I realized that there is a significant gap, and I felt that if I start solving that problem, it can make some quit my job. And I conveyed this message when my wife is going through labor, and the idea of starting the company started with the birth of my second daughter, approximately 2 years back, and it's been
Okay.
2 years, and I have been nurturing both my daughter as well as company at the same level.
Excellent, excellent. So, viewers, this was Durga, who was very honest and candid, and how he started from zero to level now being a hero in big data industry. And thank you, Durga. It was a difficult journey walk through. Just last two questions, also respecting your time because it's night and I can see tiredness on your face. But thank you, thank you for taking time out. And somebody who is passionate looks like Durga. Is like you can say another replica of Einstein trying to do something, being passionate in his field. So, Durga, two more things. What are your three habits? Because habit makes you as a person, right? First, you make your habit, and then your habit makes you up. So, what are the top three habits that you feel you possess, which your personality uh, entails right now?
So one is I do yoga. Since my second daughter, the schedule is broken. But before that, I used to do yoga quite regularly, and it actually improved my willpower significantly. And whenever I want to, whenever I make the decisions, I stick to that decision. I take the responsibility of those decisions, and I give it. And one of the reasons is yoga. That's what I felt because I see the difference pre-yoga and post-yoga period. And second one is health is wealth. I'm a teetotaler. I don't drink. I have cut down eating meat quite a bit, and I try to exercise or do yoga whenever I can. That is second thing
Mm-hmm.
which I focus on. That's why I can spend 15 hours, 16 hours at a stretch without getting tired. But typically, I sleep by 9. That's why you see the
Mm-hmm.
tiredness in my face. So these two are the things
Right. Okay.
which I follow, and when it comes to the third thing, if you ask for the third thing, uh, instead of sorry, I lost the momentum. One is
Good.
yeah, third one
Yoga.
is yoga. Second one is
Exercise.
health is wealth, and
Mhm.
third one is uh, okay. That's fine. I lost it. These two are the
That's
things.
good, yeah, because health as well was a big domain, yeah.
Yeah.
So, the last question, it was a very difficult journey, and I myself, viewers can see they're liking, they're loving your thoughts. What was the inspiration behind, man, which got you from that point to this point?
So yeah, couple of things. So I admire Steve Jobs quite a bit, and also as I mentioned to you, Narendra Modi. So these two are the primary inspirations to me. And also I follow Bhagavad Gita, and I believe in detachment. I don't attach to anything, and I believe in karma, and I believe in actions, and I detach from the results of the actions. So I don't have any rigid goals. I just follow the actions, and let it take it wherever it want to take. So that's the for that reason, there are not many goals or anything or inspirations and all. But I admire Steve Jobs a lot. I admire Narendra Modi a lot. And on top of these things, from technology perspective, I got this idea seeing a person called Tanel Potter, who is a Oracle evangelist, and he used to conduct this type of stuff for Oracle, and I got inspired from him quite a bit. He's kind of a virtual guru for me, So the overall idea actually nurtured because uh, seeing him, I also realized that whatever I know, if I start sharing like him, I felt that I
Thank you. So much learning from you, Durga, because I think you are a kind of person. So we usually find two kind of mentors. Most of them say dream big, think big, so that you end up. But there is another pro and con to it. Your level of excitement and sometimes disappointment is high. But then there are
yeah.
kind of people and mentors like you who say, "Hey, focus on actions, and the dream will automatically turn out big." So it was really nice learning from you, and thank you very much, all the viewers, Rudra, Azim, Feroz, Virani, Khurram, Aziz, everyone. The list is long. Nurullah, everyone, Eric, Martin, Aziz, Kabani, everyone. Thank you for taking time out and stay updated. Keep me messaging. What else do we need? Thank you, Durga. Despite of the tiredness on your face, you work 15 hours a day, but that's your passion, man. So keep on doing the good work, and thank you for taking time out. That's all.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I appreciate giving me some time to talk to your audience, and
Thank you.
we'll
Good luck.
stay in touch.
Appreciate that, Durga. Have a